Good morning, lovely people. Well, I say good morning. You can see over my shoulder just how dark it is in the front room. It's a horrid day today, another dreich day. But that's fine because I've got a lot to do indoors today. It's a clipboard kind of day, lots to do. Sorry, lost my train of thought. So I'm not sure if my decorators are going to be here today or not. I know they're waiting for something to arrive. It's part of the access hatch for my plumbing, but so they may buzz in a minute. So I know. So it's slightly distracting me. Anyway, yeah, I've been up ages, up and at it. I'm not naturally an early riser, as you all know by now, but obviously just getting up in time to be here for the lads when they arrive. Just getting on. So, talk about Bill in a sec. Oh, now, just before I talk about anything today, a couple of days ago, I had a couple of lovely parcels turn up at the same time. First from Becky, and as soon as I opened the parcel, I screamed because inside it, I recognised the colouring straight away. Becky, thank you so much. I scoffed them all. They're only little skinny bars. It's like little bars for kids, really. But yeah, scoffed a lot. They've been gorgeous. Plus there's some dried fruit and some spare seeds. And I know, because she was saying that she's gone through hers and these are duplicates. Some of these are duplicates for me too. So I will be passing them on. I will be finding a good home for them. I mean, it really is dark, isn't it, out through there? It's like 8 o'clock or something in the morning. Right, so Becky, thank you. Absolutely fab parcel. Caramel. Then I had another parcel that didn't have a name with it, whoever you are. So in it there's this sweet little tablecloth. It's really lovely. And this really cute book. It's actually a kid's book, I don't care. Tutankhamun, Tomb. But it says, it's from a series by Scholastic Press. It's a kids' book press, but they do a lot of sort of non-fiction, kind of history stuff for kids. And it's from their series Double Take. 2 sides, 1 story. So this whole book, it's all about Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon. And as it says, it's written using primary source material for the most part. I mean, that's going to be a little rainy afternoon read, isn't it, when there's nothing else to do? But yeah, I thought, oh, that's great fun because I love a bit of Egyptology. Aren't we all fascinated by this stuff? I certainly am. I remember when I was a kid, there was an exhibition. I was going to say exhibition of the treasures of Tutankhamun's tomb, but they were sort of reproductions of the treasures. And I can't remember if this exhibition went on tour all around the country, but at one point I must have been about 13 or 14 because I had my ears pierced. I remember that because of buying some earrings, buying Egyptian gold earrings. They weren't really in the gift shop afterwards. But yeah, there was this exhibition and we went to see it. I think we were in Dorchester. We would definitely endorse it. It was one summer down at my grandparents' and it was very rare that we did anything with a paid entry fee, but yeah, I think, en masse, all sorts of members of the family. There were other members of the family down there camping. Anyway, so yeah, who isn't interested? So whoever you are that sent that parcel, thank you. That's great fun. And I was so glad when those 2 parcels arrived because, and that's coming out of what I've literally just been downstairs now, because it came on a day when I got a bill, which frankly I am fuming about. It's one of my annual bills. I'm going to talk about it in a separate video, because this cost of living crisis thing, I mean, it's just out of control, it's ridiculous. So those 2 parcels, the Caramac, thanks Becky, and there's dried fruit and the seeds in there, and the Tutankhamun and the table cloth, and there was some chocolate in with the Tutankhamun book too. It's all gone. It's like stressed chocolate scoffing. Yeah, because of that horrid bill. Now, talking of bills, what I've just done this morning, because it's my day for doing it, is which is why I'm sitting here and starting my day here. I've just done my meter readings for my gas and electricity, and I haven't worked out the actual price yet, though that will generate a bill which will come probably tomorrow. Sometimes I get it the same day, but I was just, because I keep this chart of all my units that I've used and how much it's been, so I can look to see that on, you know, gas has been the really expensive one. During February, my goodness, I've cut down, even since last winter. I thought I was giving myself more, but I've cut down a bit, so I should have brought that bill even lower. So the thing for me with the gas has been to just keep it under 80. So gas and electricity combined, keep it under 80, because that's my standing order. Yeah, but I found that for February, for the most part, I've still been putting the heating on a little bit in the morning. It's, you know, it's chilliest in the morning because the temperature's been dropping all night. But I haven't been putting the heating on in the evening. So yeah, trying to save a bit where I can. Okay, that's good. That's done. Tick. Right, let's start ticking things off this list. I've got my soup out of the freezer for lunch. That came out ages ago. I've done that. I've done my meters. Right, so what, yeah, let me tell you about this before I go and do it. I can actually reach into my under sink cupboard for some hydrogen peroxide. I've got fungal gnats, annoying little blighters. They're like just the tiniest, such minuscule little black flies. Now, they first started appearing back end of last year, and at first I thought they were fruit flies. They look very much like fruit flies. So I had a look around and I was thinking, well, there's no fruit anywhere that's, because usually it's when something's starting to go off, starting to rot, they love that, or if there's a cut in the skin of the fruit. Anyway, no fruit, nothing like that. In terms of vegetables, I thought maybe one of my squash is starting to go off, so I went through all my squash checking. No, it wasn't that. I was like, where are they coming from? There's nothing for them to feed on. And it was going on for days and days and days. And then I don't know where it came from, but it was just a memory from something that I'd seen in a Facebook group or on YouTube. Where's my water? Years and years and years ago, excuse me. And I thought, it's fungus gnats. Now, fungus gnats, they love to live in damp organic matter. Well, not their life cycle includes damp organic matter. So potting compost. And I suddenly thought, that's where it's come from, where I've repotted all my plants, that new potting compost. I think there must have been larvae in there already. I'm starting to feel itchy just talking about them. Now, so the thing about them is they're not going to attack the foliage or any of the flowers. They don't eat any of that. So you might look and think, well, they're not bothering the plant, they're just bothering me. It's not nice, is it? You know, if there's something sort of flying around all the time and annoying, and it's like, get away from me. But also on my white kitchen windowsill, where I've got a load of plants there, and also through in the front room on my south-facing windowsill, it's white, where they're dying. So I'm kind of wiping them up all the time. It's not attractive. So I wanted to get rid of them. One, because I'm having to clean up after them. It's not attractive. Two, they're bothering me. Like in the evening when I'm lying on the sofa reading last thing at night, they're just whizzing around my head, annoying. But two, they will actually start to harm the plants if I don't deal with it now. So that's kind of why I'm mentioning it, because yeah, let's get them dealt with. The adult fungus gnat has a lifespan of about 1 week, so it's not long. However, in that week, they can lay up to 300 eggs. Numbers one can't comprehend. And they like to lay them in the top of that damp compost. And those larvae, as they're developing, they like to feed on the tiny little, the hairy bits of the roots, the tiny little root hairs. So if I leave it unchecked after a time, that destruction of the little bits of root, it will weaken the plant, and eventually it would kill the plant, because if those roots are getting damaged, the plants can't take up water and nutrients from the soil. So yeah, I do want to get rid of them. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a home method, a sort of homemade method. I went online and I did look, I made a note of some prices. I did look to see about if there are sort of ready-made products to use. This is cure rather than prevention. There are some things we can do as well in terms of prevention. But in terms of cure, there are all sorts of proprietary sort of sprays out there you can spray onto your compost. And they ranged in price from £7 to £12, the things I was looking at. So it's not cheap for it, but also, oh my goodness, what is in that stuff? Now I did notice there were quite a few products which were claiming to be, you know, green and organic, and have a look around, but there were a lot of products which were obviously not. I was looking at ingredient lists and thinking, I don't even know how to say those words, never mind what they are. If I don't know how to say something, I don't want to, if I can't say it, I ain't going to spray it. New motto. So that's the proprietary, the ready-made stuff, £7 to £12. Another route to go would be to use nematodes. I'm sure you all know about nematodes now. And that would work out, I reckoned, for all my houseplants, maybe about £10. Maybe I'd get a couple of applications. So again, none of these are cheap. So I'm going to use good old boring hydrogen peroxide. So I always have hydrogen peroxide around. It's great for cleaning. And the way it breaks down as hydrogen and water. As the hydrogen peroxide is a really unstable chemical in a way. It's always trying to break apart into its constituent parts of hydrogen and separately water together, the hydrogen peroxide. So it breaks down very safely. So that's what I'm going to use. This, I think, this is 500 mils. This is about £5. I'm going to use 200 mils. So it's going to be about £2 for this application. We'll do that in a second. But the other thing in terms of, once I've got on top of this, once I've got rid of them, something to think about in terms of prevention. Prevention is always better than cure, isn't it? Would be if all of my houseplants had a top dressing of gravel, a really good dressing, so the little fly can't get into the compost to lay its eggs, and then we stop the cycle in its tracks. So even if we've got a few flies left lying around, they've only got at most a week to live. If they can't lay their eggs, our process is done. So all I'm going to do is 1 part of hydrogen peroxide to 4 parts of water. So I'm going to make a total of 1 litre. So that will be 1 part will be 200 mils, 4 parts will be 800 mils. So 200 mils of hydrogen peroxide, 800 mils of water. It'll give me a litre. And I'll go around and water all my plants with that. This is going to be safe for my plants, it's fine. but it won't be safe for those eggs and larvae in the soil. So I want to get my soil nice and wet, make sure everything in the pot gets soaked. Hopefully that will crack it, but I will probably do another application maybe in a week. If this doesn't actually, if there's some larva already, this will get the larva hopefully. But if there's some eggs before they've got to that larval stage, it might not work. So I'll just do a repeat application in a week. And fingers crossed that will work. So, right, yeah, let's get on with that. Actually, I think in terms of measuring, sorry, slushy water, just so I can be accurate. Ooh. Because this measuring jog, it does have, I don't know if you can make out, it does have the measures on the side, but they're not printed on, they're done, it's almost in relief. So they're quite hard to see, and if I'm holding it on, if I'm like this under the tap, going, ooh, and I'm not on the flat, I might not get an accurate measurement. So if I do it this way, bring the ingredients to the jug, it can sit on the flat and I can get a good view of what I'm doing. There we go, so that's 1 part hydrogen peroxide, so it's 200 mils. Double check my litre, it really is hard to see on this jar. And then just water up to, oh, there we go, done. So that's water up to a litre. So 1 part hydrogen peroxide, 4 parts water, 200 mils hydrogen peroxide, 800 mils of water. And now I'm going to give all my house plant compost a jolly good soaking. Fingers crossed it starts to do the trick, because really those flies are bugging me now. They're on notice. A litre wasn't quite enough for all my plants, so I'm gonna do another dose. This time just up to half a litre. So again with 1 part, 4 parts, so it's 100 mils of hydrogen peroxide, 400 mils of water. But actually I'm glad I needed to make up a bit more, because I forgot to mention that this is hydrogen peroxide 3%. Just 3%. It does come in different percentages, but generally, and you only want the 3%, generally if you're buying it on the high street, if you're buying it from say the chemist or a DIY store, that sort of thing, usually it's only a 3% one that you'll find on the high street. The stronger ones, yeah, don't use them. 3%. Right, I'm going to go and do the last couple of pots. Fingers crossed. Oh, right. Next job of the day. Oh, we need some light. Hang on, let there be light. That's a little bit better. Still not enough. This is all stuff that's normally out in the hall, plus some extra bits that are going to go and end up in the hall, but they need packing. Anyway, distracted. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to film a book review, one of my little book videos. So, old violin, I've never played, never learned, but I need to, that's also come from the hallway. This is the thing, oh, super old and dusty. Just, that violin's just made me think actually. One of the things I've put on my list in terms of this kind of rundown of work to do in order to be ready to move, I've sort of done a month by month breakdown of like, right, okay, this month the focus is on, so for example, February, this month the focus is on the hallway. And so it goes. But one of the things I've thought about is, you know, you all know that I'm going to be looking in this area. I'm desperate to stay in this area. I love it. But it may be that I do end up having to leave London, move out of London. So one of the bits of the planning ahead is I've got a number of items I want to sell. I've got some records, some vinyl, you know, old vinyl. Things like the violin, there's some bits and bobs of clothing. And the best places I know of, they're all up in London, they're all up in town. So that's something I need to sort out before the move. It's on the list because two things. One, when I move, I don't want to be moving all that stuff if that stuff is stuff that I'm not keeping, that, you know, I've earmarked it for selling. It's been earmarked for selling for years. So I don't want to put it in a removal van, take it off the van, unpack it, and then go, oh yeah, and now I need to sell it. So let's get it sold before it even goes anywhere near a removals van. And secondly, if I do end up having to leave London, oh, I don't know, I end up in Bristol, I don't know. Actually, there's probably some good auction houses in Bristol, aren't there? The point is, I don't know. Let me access these, right, talk and work, Vivi. Let me access those places in London while I can. Right. Because I'm going to be filming quite a bit with you guys today, my day in the life of. I've got my separate camera card ready for when I sit and film the books, because then what I want to do, getting extra lighting, whoop, it really is such a dark, dismal day. Extension lead. This is easy. Oh la la. This is the faff that one goes through to make even the most simple of videos. Yeah, I'm going to film the books on a separate video card because then once I start editing and once I want to put that card into the computer to then do some work on it later, I want to still have the card that you are all on for the rest of today's stuff, because there's a lot on the list. Right, that's almost set up. The tripod will move in. I've got my books, I've got my notes. I think I'm all ready to start on the next bit. I'm thinking maybe the chaps aren't coming today, actually. I want to just grab my hoodie, I suddenly feel a bit chilly. Yeah, it looks like the chaps aren't going to come today. They did say it would either be today or tomorrow, so yeah, I'm just going to crack on because, for instance, the reason I'm filming the books now is because once I put the video card into the computer, download the footage into the computer, upload the footage into the editing program, edit it, then I have to render it into a format that's acceptable for YouTube. That rendering process can take 2 hours or more. I can't use the computer when it's happening, so that's that thing of always thinking ahead and planning. There's going to be a 2-hour chunk of time, and then once that happens, once I'm happy with it and then it uploads to YouTube, that can take 2 hours or more as well. So in other words, there could be 5-6 hours where the computer is out of action and I can't do anything. I can't do any different work on the computer. I can't interfere with that to speed it up. So I always plan other jobs for that moment when I've done the edit and now I'm doing the render. And today's other jobs include making a box. Yay! Anyway, that's for later. So for now, I'm going to say cheerio to all of you. In this moment of this video, I'm going to go and film something else, and then once that's done, I'll come back and we'll carry on with today's stuff. It might even be lunchtime by then. Today's lunch is the Mediterranean chard soup, which is very Mediterranean in terms of it's tomatoes, onions, garlic, tons and tons of garlic, and then it's ramped up with, it's got a handful of coco de pampol beans in it, so it's going to be a really filling lunch today. Good, right, see you later. brr, temperature just suddenly really dropped. Okay, so I've done my bit of filming. I've just put the card in the computer, and this is where it starts to really take ages. So there are, how many clips? 7 clips to upload. I've done 3 so far. I've just remembered I've just grabbed the charger for the camera, because what will happen now is I'll edit, well, from this point to being able to edit will take about half an hour of telling the computer, please accept all these images. Then I'll edit, which will take about half an hour to an hour. Then the render. So in other words, for the next hour and a half, it's a bit go-slow and it's very boring. It's not for any of you guys to watch. So while it's doing all that boring stuff, I'll get the camera over there and charge it up. And also at the same time, I'm going to heat my soup up. I'm going to have my lunch. As I say, it's not ideal. I don't think it's ideal to eat lunch at one's desk whilst kind of working. However, because this is quite a slow process and a bit stuck, you see, it's been stuck on importing 3 out of 10 items. Oh, it's gone up to 4 finally. Because it does take such a while, yeah, I might as well eat my lunch at the same time. Also, it might warm me up a bit. Right, and then we'll be diving into this afternoon, and I'm going to start playing with that wood. Just one thing to mention, I forgot to mention it earlier. With my fungus gnats and my treatment with the hydrogen peroxide, bear in mind when you water with that hydrogen peroxide, you get your oxy-action thing going on, so it'll fizz a bit. So make sure you've got headspace in the top of your pot. So where the level of your soil comes to, make sure there's a bit of space above that. If you've got soil right to the top of the pot, you might end up with a bit of a soil volcano. It's almost like, it's almost like, imagine putting a bath bomb in the soil. It's going to fizz it up a bit, so it's going to sort of go. It's quite amusing to watch actually. But yeah, if the soil is right to the top of the pot, as one of mine is, it has it's just some of the soil wet, fizzing. It's just started to try and get over the edge. Fungus fizziness, right. Okay, so I'm going to get on with this, have my lunch, and then it will be, by the time I've done all this, I think it's going to be about 12:30, 1 o'clock, yeah, it'll be about 1 o'clock by then, back into the front room, start playing with that wood to make something really useful for myself. Right, let's see where I'm at. I'm not going to go into my table. All of that computer stuff just now took absolutely blimmin' ages. So instead of, instead of an hour and a half, it was more like 2 hours. The computer is, I don't know whether it's the computer that's slow or the internet. I still haven't bought the new computer yet. I haven't had time, but it's on the list. Now, I'm going to get on with making my gas meter box. So I have my wood, the offcuts from the guys at the ironmongers, cut them to size, but I need to do a couple of little cutouts at the bottom here so that it slots right up and over the skirting board, and then a gap here for the pipe to come out. I hate using power tools, really hate. But I think my saw is down at the shed. I'm going to go and give it a go with this. Also, my workbench is down there. So what I'm doing, obviously I'm using my sewing table to lean it on, but I'm using the, it's bodged right up into the radiator to stop it flying off. Here goes. I just had a tiny little practice in where I'm going to do the cutout up here, just to get the feel of it again, because I I really don't like this stuff. But needs must. Oh, it's gonna. I'm way off the table. Let's give it a go. Am I going? I'm going so slowly. I'm sorry, you can't see a thing, can you? It's awkward. Has that gone far enough? How to do that cut? I need to... Can someone come and give me a hand? Can someone lean on this end, please? Again, it's one of those situations where it's a weekday, it's a work day for all my friends are at work. Obviously they work. Anyway, yeah, I haven't used this for a long time. I need to come. I know it needs to come this end, doesn't it? No. I need to flip. I'm going to flip it over, mark it on the side. Yeah, I haven't used this for absolutely ages. Since the last time was when I was building shelves for the plot, for the shed. It's not the straightest line. You know what? It'll do. Why is it doing that at me? That'll do. So obviously I'll I'll just give it a bit of a rub down. But that can you, if I put it there, you can't. So that's just going to go up to the wall. So the skirting board is here. So this is the very bottom. It's weird, isn't it? In life, there's if I was using hand tools, I would just get on. I think it's that thing, isn't it, of equipment. So often it boils down to equipment, doesn't it? If I had my workbench here where I could clamp everything, and I was using hand tools, I wouldn't bat an eyelid at doing any of this. I'd just crack on. I haven't got a workbench, so I'm aware that this can be slipping and sliding. I don't like power tools, they make me nervous. I think they're just kind of aggressive, aren't they? So I'm just going to go slowly. I'm going to go much slower than I normally would, and yeah, I'm definitely out of my comfort zone doing it this way, but needs must, improvise with the table and all that. Just get it done. Once I get to putting it together and then painting it, I'll be back in my comfort zone again. Right, I won't keep you here to witness my nerves though, so join me in a few hours when I've put it all together, I hope. My energy is flagging. That computer stuff, like I said, it took so long, and I think sitting at the computer I find more exhausting to sit at a computer than to get on and do stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'll bring you back later when this is all put together, and I can start sanding it and refining it and all that before I paint it. Well, it's coming along. I'm just having a little break on the sofa at the minute. You can see, where's my big finger? So my sides are attached now to the front. I just need to, this is going to be the top. That's the feet there, the bottom, so that goes over the skirting. I'm just about to get the top on, but I'm having a quick sit down and let me just, catch you up on what's next. Oh my goodness, I'm flagging a little bit, and what's quite worrying is I think I can feel a bit of a migraine. So I'm not sure how much more I will do. I've got loads. I'm going to carry on, see how far I get. But a couple of things to mention about MDF, because this is all offcuts that I'm making it from. with MDF, what I should have said before I started jigsawing and cutting, one should really wear a mask when dealing with MDF because of those dust particles. After I'd done that quick shot with you, I suddenly thought, oh, Vivi, mask. So I went and grabbed a mask for the rest of the cutting. Then what I've done is I've swept up all my sawdust, as it were, and I'm keeping my sawdust because I will mix it with some wood glue to make a sort of a paste, quite a thick paste, and then that will be used for doing a little bit of filling, which I'll tell you about now. But yeah, please, if you're using MDF, put a mask on when you're doing your cutting. Naughty Vivi. And also, remember what I was saying about I much prefer working with hand tools. Hand tools are great. Hand tools, you don't need electricity for them, so it's kind of like free power. Oh, here's the power. We just have to power up with a nice bowl of beanie soup at lunchtime, don't we? So I like them for that reason. I like hand tools for the reason of I feel more connected to whatever the work is that I'm doing. I just feel, because obviously with hand tools we go a little bit slower. I feel like I can feel the wood, the fabric, whatever it is I'm working with. I feel it more when I'm using my hands, even with a tool in my hand as an extension of my hand. So even, things like sewing, as in needle and thread sewing, yes, obviously I do a vast majority of my sewing on the sewing machine because otherwise I'll be here forever. But that's why, for instance, with the lavender bags, I always finish them by hand because it's an act of love, but also I just feel more connected to them. Anyway, so, yeah, didn't really like playing with the jigsaw. Now, I have got my granddad's bit and brace. Is that what it's called, bit and brace? I think it's called a bit and brace, isn't it? This was in my granddad's workshop forever. I remember seeing it when I was a teeny tiny little girl, and when he died, my grandma had said to me and my cousin Ben, which tools at granddad's would you like? I'll have that, please. So I'm going to drill some so when I'm going to finish the box now, where the top is going on, I'm just going to drill some pilot holes because you'll see the top more obviously than any other part. So I'm going to just drill myself a couple of pilot holes to make sure it's all, and that's also those bits, that's wood and wood, it's not MDF. Then once I've got my pilot holes, I've also got my little countersink. So this will go, so for anyone who's not used a countersink, where I'm going to drill that hole for the screw to go into. So the hole I drill, the pilot hole, will be smaller than the screw. It'll be a very fine hole, because then the screw as it goes in can grip. But where the top of the screw would be kind of sticking out a bit, you use the countersink to drill down, and then the head of the screw can nestle down below the surface of the wood. And that's where I've kept my MDF and bits, that's why I've kept my sawdust. I'll mix it into a paste with the wood glue, and then once all those screws are in, I can fill them with that sawdusty paste. And also there's one of those bits of MDF wasn't quite cut square. Never mind, they did the job for me for nothing. So I might have one little tiny bit of fill to do. So again, I'll use the wood glue sawdust paste to do my fill. Let it all dry, and then give it all a good sanding before I start painting. So what I'm hoping to achieve, I don't know, because my head is feeling a bit funny. I think maybe I just needed to sit down. Maybe I just need more water. I haven't drunk a lot of water today. Maybe it's a bit of dehydration. Maybe it's just excitement because the jobs are getting done. So for the rest of this, time's cracking off. So for the rest of this afternoon, finish putting the box together and sand any bits that I can, and then any areas where, like with the screw heads, the countersunk screw heads, do any filling with my sawdust wood glue paste, and that's as far as it will go today. I won't even get a primer on. No, I won't. I'll let it dry. So tomorrow then I will prime it. Once the primer is dry, I can give it another light sanding, and then I can start thinking about the top coats. So get the box construction finished this afternoon, nearly there. And then, where are we? So that the video I made this morning, that's almost finished rendering. So I'll carry on with the box, but as soon as that's finished rendering, I'll go and check the audio, because that has been an issue occasionally in the past. Check the audio, and if the audio is okay, then I'll start the upload to YouTube, because that upload can take 2 to 4 hours. So get that underway, then come back to the box and carry on the box, whatever work needs doing there. So, sorry to check the audio. I would have thought by then we might be heading towards dinner time, and I don't know that I really want to. Oh well, I have the energy to cook, but I didn't get anything else out of the freezer. It might be risotto again because it's so easy. I don't know, we'll see. But then what other jobs are so? Oh no, I'll do a fasolado. So one of the other jobs I wanted to get done this afternoon is, I don't know which order of sequence you're going to see videos in, so this might not make much sense, but spare vegetables in portions for soup to just get chopped and frozen, so they're not actually turned into soup, but they'll be the makings of soup. Yeah, I've got some veggies, because I don't have a fridge anymore at the moment. I don't have anywhere to store veggies. I don't want things to wilt and go off. So if I get them all chopped now and get them in the freezer, I think that'd be a really good job to do this evening. Just when I was editing, I've noticed I've got an order for the shop, so I've got that ready. I need to make a parcel, so I'll get that done. And I've got a couple of new items to go into the shop. They're photographed and ready, so again, once that YouTube upload, that should all, hopefully the computer will all be, everything will be done by about 7 o'clock, I would have thought. So then I can get back on the computer, do my shop orders, put some new items into the shop, create a thumbnail for the video I made this morning, do the edits, the YouTube edits for the video I made this morning, chop all my veg. That'll take me, I reckon that'll all these bits and bobs will take me till about 9-10ish this evening. And then I'm gonna just chill, and yeah, I'm definitely, it depends what happens here. This might force me to stop sooner, but if I can get all those bits and pieces done that I want, then at 10 o'clock, whatever stage I've got to, I'm going to stop, get myself on the sofa, lie down with my book, read for an hour, calm my brain, and try and get to bed before midnight so that I can be up bright and early again tomorrow for the chats for the decorating, which will hopefully be the last. I'm hoping it's the last day they're here, because I really want to get on with not just getting on with the hall and staging, but to clean the entire staircase, because it's not from the guys, but it's a filthy mess. I want to get it all cleaned. Not today though. So when I do sit down to read, I'm going to be reading one of my Christmas present books, which was from Nikki, and it's The Hidden Life of Trees. I picked this up last night to start my bookmark at a jaunty angle. I don't need it at a jaunty angle. I know that I finished at the paragraph at the top of the page. Anyway, I picked this up last night, and I'm on page 65. That's where I stopped. So that's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours of reading. I was only going to read for half an hour, so in order to get up early this morning. You can tell how much I was loving it. I didn't want to put it down last night. It's fab. I can't wait to tell you all about that when I finished it. I know loads of you have read it because we've talked about it in comments. Oh, God, I'm knackered. I'm already done in, and I'm not, I think I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So, yeah, I'm about 7 hours into my day, and there's probably about another 7 to go. I'm about halfway, woo! So, and I'm pleased with what I've managed to do so far. But yeah, I'm just gonna go quietly now with that box because my head's not right. You know what I mean. All right, lovelies, I think that's enough though, isn't it? Otherwise this video will be like mammothly long. So I'm going to say ta-ra. Yeah, I'm going to say cheerio for now. The next time, hopefully, well, maybe next time we see each other, it might be in the hall. Oh no, there's something else to do. I'm not sure when it will be, but soon, I would say within the next 2 or 3 videos, we can have a look at the finished and staged haul. That's the best bit. It's not just that it's finished, but then I can stage it and make it look lovely for buyers, for prospective buyers. It won't be the next video, it'll be 2 or 3 days. Right, I need to be quiet now. Please look after yourselves, lovelies. I hope you're getting on with some of your long overdue jobs as well. You know, let's try and get as much done, especially at the moment when the weather's not so great. I know tons of you got loads of snow still, but when we've got these really grotty wet days and we can't be outside, whether it's gardening or walking or whatever it is, when we're stuck indoors, let's make the most of it and just get these blimmin' jobs done so we can forget them. Once and for all, we can forget them. The sooner the jobs are done, the sooner we can curl up with a book and have no guilt. All right, lovelies. See you very, very soon. Until then, cheerio.